Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a tool that is a total game changer for anyone wanting to get their hands dirty with computer networking. Let's talk about Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay, so you're curious about how the internet really works, right? You want to build networks, maybe break them, and then figure out how to fix them. But, and it's a big but, getting your hands on actual routers and switches, well, that gets expensive fast, not to mention all the space and cables. What if you could have an entire networking lab right on your computer and it didn't cost a dime? Well, that's exactly where Packet Tracer comes in. Think of it as your own personal networking sandbox. It's this powerful virtual playground where you can build, experiment, and learn without any of the real-world costs or, the risk of accidentally breaking something. I mean, just picture the old way of doing things. You'd need a physical lab. We're talking hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars in gear, a jungle of cables, and that constant nagging fear that one wrong command could brick a very expensive piece of equipment. Packet Tracer just wipes all of that away. It's completely free. It's a totally safe space, and you can build and tear down massive, complex networks as many times as you want. And you don't need some beast of a gaming PC to run it either. As Reddit user Rafu007 points out, one of the best things about it is how lightweight it is. You can build some seriously impressive network setups on pretty much any half-decent laptop. It's all about accessibility. And don't think for a second that this is some random third-party app. Packet Tracer is the real deal. It comes directly from the Cisco Networking Academy. This is the primary tool they use to train people for the big-time certifications like the CCNA. So you're literally using the same stuff the pros use to sharpen their skills. Okay, so you've downloaded it, you've got it installed, and you open it up. Now what? Let's take a super quick tour of the interface so you know your way around. Honestly, the layout is incredibly simple, and it's broken down into 4 main zones. You've got this giant white space in the middle. That's your canvas, your playground. Down at the bottom, that's your toy box, all the routers, switches, PCs, servers, everything. Up top, you've got your standard toolbars, select, delete, that kind of thing. And most importantly, over on the right, you've got this little toggle to switch between real-time and simulation modes. We'll get back to that in a sec, because that's where the magic happens. What's also really cool is that Packet Tracer gives you 2 totally different ways to see your network. There's the logical view, which is what you see on the left. It's your classic, clean network diagram, perfect for planning things out. But then you can flip over to the physical view. This is awesome. It actually shows your devices how they'd look in the real world, sitting in a wiring closet, on a desk, or even in different buildings across the city. It really helps you grasp the physical scale of what you're building. All right, that's enough talk. Let's actually build something. You're about to see just how ridiculously fast you can go from a blank slate to a fully working network. It is truly as simple as 1, 2, 3. First, you dip into that device tray at the bottom, grab a few PCs and a switch, and just drag them onto the workspace. Done. Second, you find the little lightning bolt icon, that's the connections tool, and you click on a PC, then the switch, and boom, you've got a virtual cable. Third, you've just got to configure them. And that third step is the key. For these devices to actually find each other, they each need a unique address, kind of like a street address for a house. You just double-click each PC, pop open its settings, and give it an IP address, something like 192.168.1.1 for the first one, .2 for the second, .3 for the third. You get it. Packet Tracer is smart enough to even fill in the subnet mask for you. It's that easy. Okay, our network is built. The devices are connected. The addresses are all set. Now for the absolute best part, watching it actually think. This is the moment Packet Tracer stops being just a drawing tool and becomes something alive. So we're going to flip that little switch on the right-hand side. We're moving from real-time mode into simulation mode. This is like hitting the slow motion button on data itself, letting us see exactly what's happening every step of the way. Let's watch a single piece of data, a packet, go from PC A to PC C. Watch this. The packet leaves PC A and goes to the switch. Now, the switch is new to this network, so it doesn't actually know where PC C is yet. So what does it do? It basically shouts the message out to everybody it's connected to. PCB gets the message, says, "Hey, this isn't for me," and just ignores it. But PCC sees it and says, "Yep, that's mine," and sends a reply back. Now here is the magic. The switch just learned something. It now knows where both PCs are, so when the reply comes back, it sends it directly to PCA. This is the absolute core of how switches work, and you get to see it happen in slow motion. This all seems pretty incredible, and it really is. But to be good students of this stuff, we have to talk about the limits of the tool. We need to understand where the simulation stops and where the real world takes over. So this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can you learn everything there is to know in Packet Tracer and then walk into a data center and be an expert on real physical Cisco gear? Well, the short answer is not quite. And here's a perfect real-world example from Reddit user Zmans in 1984. They ran into a situation where a command that they knew worked on their actual router just gave them a blank output in Packet Tracer. And this perfectly highlights a critical point. Packet Tracer doesn't support every single command or feature of a real device's operating system. It just can't. The reason for that comes down to one key distinction. Packet Tracer is a simulator. Its job is to mimic the behavior of a network so you can learn the big, important concepts. It is not an emulator. An emulator's job is to be a perfect digital twin, to replicate the exact hardware and software, right down to the bugs. And doing that requires a ton more computing power. So what's the final verdict here? Packet Tracer is absolutely 100% perfect for learning the core concepts of networking. If you're studying for your CCNA, it's pretty much essential. For visualizing how data actually moves, it's the best tool out there. But you have to be cautious when you're expecting it to have full support for every single command, or if you're trying to test really advanced specific hardware features. It's a teaching tool, and it is a brilliant one. So, the tool is sitting on your desktop. The workspace is blank. Your free virtual networking lab is right there waiting for you. The only question left is, what are you going to build first? A simple home network? A whole office building with multiple floors? Maybe a smart city? The possibilities are pretty much endless. Happy networking!